Hi, I'm Miranda Krestovnikoff. I'm president of the RSPB and I'm a television broadcaster. And this year I wrote a book all about birds, which is beautifully illustrated by the very talented Angela Harding. I'm going to read an extract from that in just a moment, but I thought I'd just share a few experiences that I've had with birds and wildlife during this whole lockdown time that we've had recently. So it's been very bizarre, but I've definitely spent a lot more time outdoors. I've had time to sit and watch and just spend more time in nature, which has been just such a benefit for me and for my family. We're very lucky to live outside a big city and we're surrounded by farmland and woodland, and we've got kestrels in the locality. And a couple of years ago we put a camera inside a kestrel nest box, and so we've been watching the behaviour and the excitement of kestrels laying eggs and feeding these young chicks and watching them fledging and hoping they're coming back the next year. And I just checked, and we've got a male kestrel sitting on 3 very precious eggs at the moment. So as a family, we are all glued to this television monitor at the moment, watching. We're hoping that maybe the female will lay 1 more egg, which was great. We had 4 last year. They're incubating at the moment, so we're going to wait a few weeks and hopefully there'll be chicks. Hopefully sort of beginning, middle of May, which would just be really wonderful to watch as well. I've also noticed that as there's a lot less traffic around at the moment, there are a lot fewer background noises, and so I reckon the bird song is a lot clearer than I've heard it for many, many years. So when I wake up in the morning, I tend to throw the window wide open and listen out for the different birds that are singing around me. And often people find it very difficult to identify birdsong, but I thought I'd just mention a couple of birds which are really, really easy to identify. So there's a bird called the chiff-chaff that actually sings its own name. So if you hear a bird going chiff, chiff, chaff, chiff, 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 chaff, chiff, chaff, chiff, chaff, that is a chiff-chaff. And there's another one called the great tit, very common garden bird, which sings teacher, 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 teacher. So those are 2. If you're completely unfamiliar with birdsong, but you want to identify just 2, then listen out for those. If you want to find out more, there are lots of different birdsong apps available which will help you learn different calls, and you'll be able to identify the different birds that live around you. And you don't have to live out in the open. You don't have to have a garden to listen out for birdsong. You can be in the middle of a big city. Just try and go and find a green space or a park or something like that. Just sit, listen and watch for a minute. Anyway, without further ado, let me read you an extract from my book all about bowerbirds. Bowerbirds are fascinating to watch with their elaborate architectural skills. Male satin bowerbirds gain their deep blue-black feathers when they reach around 7 years old. After this, a great deal of time and effort is spent on attracting a female to mate. The male spends many hours building a bower, a U-shaped structure with parallel walls of twigs, and then goes about collecting coloured objects to decorate it with. Satin bowerbirds love the colour blue, which accentuates the male's blue feathers. In order to impress a female, a male will travel far and wide to find blue objects. Some are natural, like feathers and flowers, but often he'll include man-made items like plastic straws, bottle tops, pegs, and even toothbrushes. His decorating skills don't end at merely collecting objects. He may also paint the inside of his bower with a mixture of plant material and saliva. The male is extremely fussy over his artistic handiwork and will carefully rearrange items if they fall out of place. Competition for the best decorations is fierce. Males have even been known to steal blue objects from others close by. Once everything is in order, he'll start to dance, tempting the female inside his bower to mate with her. The dance consists of flamboyant displays of exaggerated movements, strutting and bowing, stretching and quivering wings. He also calls and buzzes to impress her. The final touch is gifting one of his precious blue items to her. But the females are very choosy and will visit several different bowers before deciding on which mate they prefer. For some males, all this effort is wasted. Even after days of work on their bower, their attempts to win over a female will be unsuccessful. So that's just a little taste about the life of a bowerbird. Oh, another bird I might mention as well, actually, is if you can see my earrings, these are great spotted woodpeckers, which is another fairly common garden bird, especially if you live near woodland. You might be able to hear the drumming of a great spotted woodpecker, especially if you live nearby a wood, or you can go visit a wood that's got big old dead trees in them. The male great spotted woodpeckers tend to select trees that are quite old and resonant, maybe rotten inside, and they drum very quickly and very loudly with their bills to basically to announce that this is my territory to any other male great spotted woodpeckers close by. So especially in the morning, if you go out and about, you might hear that sort of drumming of the male great spotted woodpecker. So there's lots out and about to see. Just if you've got the time to do it now, just take a moment to spend a bit more time walking out and about in nature. Just stop and look and listen. Never know what you might see or find.